Hi YouTube, welcome to another video. In this video, I am live testing Claude Code for the first time on a production application. Obviously, I'm not going to be committing the code straight to production without testing, but Playwise HQ is the application that I've recently launched, and I decided to test the functionality out, adding some new capabilities with Claude Code. It hasn't done a great job on the front end, but in just a few moments, it was able to create both the back end and the front end requirements for basically allowing a user to update their profile. If you've followed my video series for quite some time, you'll know that I typically have defaulted to using Claude Chat, like the normal chat interface, rather than something like Cursor or some of these other tools that are integrated with an IDE. And that was largely because I felt that they didn't always have the full context, and I could at least control the context in Claude. And also, and when I say that, I mean with the project's capability. And also, I found that often they would just kind of make changes without really explaining what they were doing. You'd get the code and you could read it, but it didn't give kind of all of this context, so to speak. So in this video, you can see me live testing Claude Code for the first time. I won't spoil it with everything in this video, but it's very interesting if you do want to watch someone kind of running through this for a production, or an app that is in production at least. And one of the other things is I've tested out using Claude.md markdown file, which is one of the things that you can pass in or set up in your project, and it should automatically read it. If you have followed my previous videos, you'll know that I very much kind of keep track of all of the prompts. A lot of this is cut and paste for each prompt, but then I kind of detail the specific functionality each time, both on the front end, sorry, this is back end, but also front end stuff. And I wanted to see if Claude can follow these instructions clearly, do everything that I asked of it. That was quite interesting with the use case, as were some of the kind of niggling errors that we ran into. So with that out of the way, I'll let the video do the talking and enjoy. Hi YouTube, welcome to another video and a break in proceedings. Over the last couple of videos, I've been working on the integration with our CRMs. We are taking a slight deviation because the other day, Claude Code released. It's a bit of a mouthful. I was about to call it Code Claude, but Claude Code released. And if you followed my series for a while, you'll know that my preference has always been to have code generated in a chat window rather than using tools like Cursor. However, watching the release videos that Anthropic put out and seeing some content that's been shared on YouTube, I think Claude Code has a lot of potential, and I'm keen to test it out. It was an absolute mammoth job to get this installed on a Windows machine because it doesn't work on Windows currently. It uses Linux-based operating systems. It sounds simple, but then basically it was running as a virtual environment, and then it wouldn't connect the front end to the back end. And then also when I got up and running and was trying to go to our integration, basically this wasn't working because the callback from HubSpot only works for localhost, whereas because I'm using another environment, we're getting a specific IP address instead of just localhost, so it's slightly different. It was a big mess. That's not the purpose of this video. We have enough delay. What I want to do is test out Claude Code and see how good this can actually be. So if you've followed along for a while as well, you'll know that I have basically been keeping track of all of the different prompts that I create. So this is like a pre-prompt checklist. And this is one that I had for the front end. That's also front end. This is one on the back end. A lot of this is cut and paste each time, but I've been keeping track of them. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and with Claude Code, you can create a Claude.md file and put in instructions. Now they do say to keep this brief, so I've tried to consolidate it much smaller and shorter. And then this is essentially the first time I'm using Claude Code to create some new functionality. I did just quickly test it to make sure it was all set up correctly, asking some questions of the functionality that I've been working on with the CRM integration, and got it to change the pop-up from being available to a page. No actual kind of new functionality. Now I want to start off fairly easy with this, and I was thinking that what we might do is look at our user model, and in our user model, we've got first name, we've got last name, and we've got the user's email address. So this is just me on the spot figuring this out. I'm not going to cut and paste it, but I'm going to say from our main nav navigation menu, when we click the person icon, we can settings. On our settings page, I want to add a left-hand menu. Actually, let's see how far we can push it. It should have three tabs. One, subscription management, which shows the account usage. So you should get the exact name of this. Back end, of course, it's not going to be in it. Features, settings, components, subscription. Yeah, so subscription management. It shows the subscription management. component. So this, cool. The two, the user management, which I think we call the invite users component. User management, which shows the invite users component. And three, term called profile. Call this profile tab. Cool. Page. We then want to allow the user to call their name, first name, last name, and email address. This will require you to create new backend functionality to name as well. It should be done as a patch REST. So user will need input each time. If the user has already provided their name, person, or last name, it should be displayed. If one person or last name has been provided yet, as we don't ask for it on sign up. Yeah. Fairly simplistic use case, but compared to what I've done before, where I typically have to break up the backend and the front end development. Now, in this Claude MD file, I am asking it to do this pre-prompt checklist. So I'm interested to see if it actually follows those instructions. Let's see. Okay, so it completely ignored my instructions, but let's have a look here and see what it's done. So what have we done? So right, update profile. Where is it? User. Okay, it's not. Update profile. It's going to create a new subfolder here. Update profile, which makes sense. I'm just calling this update profile routes. So you can patch request, which is authenticated. It's going to have validation chains. Or yeah, that looks good. Yes for that. Now, hopefully, it should work on our control parts, validation chains. So first name optional must be a string, 50 characters. Last name optional must be a string. Email optional. Optional for the option. While the email is optional for a patch request, we need to make sure the user doesn't completely remove their email and say it has an empty string or null value. Before please this validation, we should check for empty. I'll just say that, see what it comes back with. While not which. I probably should have checked my Claude. I'm going to check if it does further validation in our. I should check what it does. Okay. Validation check. Email just checks that it exists. I think we do further validation later on in our account functionality. All right, so this is our controller. So this should basically just pass it off to our service, which it's doing. The user would not be able to update. Good. our functions. No, service, sorry. Fields, first name, last name, email. Yep. Actually, just thinking about this, where it might be in our function. I just want to make sure that that looks fine. If we just look at our service for a second, we should make sure that the user ID, let's say user ID, okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, bring in our profile outs. And we probably import. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't do it in one pass. Check this is recording correctly. Because the other day I forgot to have my microphone tapped, so we're all good. Just while waiting. All right, so now what we've done is we've kind of moved on to our front end. So it is need a settings sidebar component. Here's admin. Actually, I forgot to tell that, which is good. If not, you can update your own profile. That looks correct to me. All right, so this is the profile tab. So first name, last name, email, form data. Has form data, profile information. Here's pending. Looks correct. What's wrong with that? Alrighty, now what we've got is we've got our hook. So interfaces. We're calling a patch request to use profile, passing in our data. Not sure if it doesn't look like we're invalidating the request there, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so just back. Update. We get an error here. Where's us? It's meant to be getting API -1. Okay, so what's the settings page? Active tab. Yeah. I have a feeling that this is going to be an expensive piece of functionality relative to you just Claude directly in chat. Just looking at the number of tokens that have been used. Right. Oh, this is interesting. So I told it to create an ADR, and that was in my instructions, and it's done this. Okay. Okay. I'll probably put it in. All right. So besides this error here, let me we'll pull this over here. I'll try and give you an idea of how much that costs. And copy it. Okay. Nothing here that's I can't show you. So before this, I'd spent $3.55 mucking around, which was basically UI changes to us. $4.80. It's weird. That's so weird. Why is that so cheap? That's so bizarre. All I'd done before was basically ask it to change a modal to a page and then asked it to review my code base so I understood it. So why does this not work? API client. Do what? Oh, hang on, this is change the name. API client. Hmm. Why? Why? Huh. What doesn't apply? So object literal may only be specified for name for years. Turn using. Okay, we'll just return. Passing it. Let's see how much that costs. 4 cents. Okay. All right. Let's test this out. We had our tabs. So subscription management, user profile, styling, terrible. Profile. So we can call this. Actually, this isn't right. No. Oh, it's not that. We do get first name on sign up. For users who aren't invited, we do get first and last name. Interest. So I reckon file title. State.user. User.email. Where is it getting? Email. That's weird. Get profile. User. Use all. Profile tab. Profile tab. Where is it? Yeah, so it's trying to get first name and last name off of our auth state. I notice an error profile trying to get first name or last name of state.user. How or I'll show what we get again. Obviously get count. Until we get or user. I always forget now. Anyway, I was going to show the user state. Must be on states on my dog. Also, here I will from auth on our tweaking log on author. We only get by user ID or user Here we go. User ID, email, role, and account ID. User ID, email, role, and account ID. If one has, because we need first name, last name, we will need another API endpoint to make get request. Okay, we have one already. Let's just double check. Get request. This should be the user slash get profile, get user dash profile, so that we can return all. And let's just tell it here. If we look at our model, let's get request. In addition to first name, last name. And we'll do that. So not perfect with Claude Code. Here we go. So we got our user profile, get user profile.routes. It's authenticated. Don't need a validation chain. Validating any data. Alrighty, our controller. So user profile is retrieved. Turn user profile. I've thought about one more thing. I'm going to wait until it's done this. Some functions. Find by ID. Because last login. Yep, that's all we want. In the route. I still don't know why it does this. It's two separate things. I need a hook on our front end. Picked up the integrated API-1, which is good. Toast query. It's good to make. Alrighty. Use profile tab. It's got rid of using state. In the data. Oh, it's good. Change fields. Alrighty, what's this? It's loading profile, so we've got this loader just while we wait for that data. It's correct. Yeah. Just bring in. That might have just been input error. Read it quick enough. Alright. And it's invalidating the stuff down. I'll tell you how much this costs as well. Alright. KWT continues to be used for auth and basic user identification. Great. So we're at $4.22. That brings us to $4.73, so it's 50 cents. And now let's test the functionality. So settings, profile. Profile. This inquiry function error message. Copy. It doesn't seem to know these toast hooks very well. Yeah, using toast for notifications, and basically it wraps the use mutation use query. Okay, yeah, so it's passing the query function rather than like defining query function rather than just passing the one. That fix cost us 5 cents. And there we go. There's the details. Well, so we can change this to my name. Save changes. Styling looks terrible still. It's like doesn't have enough padding. There's no white. But that seemed to work. We can refresh in Mongoose. how long DB compass, sorry, you can see the first name, last name updated. All right, fantastic. How good was that? So I'm going to wrap the video here. Thanks for watching, and I'll probably come back and keep going with the rest of my application here, getting the integration with HubSpot CRM up and running. That's the first test of Claude Code. Thanks for watching.